And we're live. So welcome everybody. This is an experimental hangout on air that we're doing right now. We are being watched by people in the Grove in New Haven, Connecticut. The Grove is a co-working space where they're taking it. Some people are having a tour of this right now for the Impossible Ideas exhibit. It's a conversation among innovators. And part of this exhibit is we have two people from Italy on the line, Giada and Stelio, and what we're going to do is just hear their story about their innovations and what they're working on. So Giada, why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay, so I am an artist and I am an artist entrepreneur now. That happened because I started this experience as a traveling artist between residency program for artists in the US mostly. That's where I was living, and my first experience was actually in Art Space, which is in New Haven, and it was a great experience, and I understood how mobility is such an important topic for an artist, and how you need to change your environment to make work that is always challenging. And I started to believe that that is actually a great formula. So the artist in residency program, it's actually really interesting, and makes this mobility more doable for artists. So a few years ago, it's when I started, and this year just I had this great opportunity to open a bigger space and in Italy. So I came back to my home country, and I just opened a B&B plus a residency program myself. This residency program is gonna host people mostly from the US, but is gonna hopefully enlarge their boundaries, and it's gonna be worldwide. And the idea and the concept is giving to the artists the opportunity to travel and to experiment these new spaces, new cultures, and something that will challenge their own work and making new connection. That is actually the best part of the whole experience, I think. So I don't hear you anymore.
Sorry, I meant to say thank you. Stelio, do you want to give your side of the story?
Absolutely, thank you. So what I do is I work in Cocoon Projects. I'm a co-founder of this strange new breed company, which is a place where people don't have a boss, even though it's a normal company competing on markets. People just don't have a boss. They can join any activity, propose any activity, earn credit, which means compensation and decisional power proportionally to the value they create within the company. And a couple of other innovation, like we don't do job interviews. People just join the company and they earn their reputation and start creating value within the company without anybody letting them in. And stuff like this. This was a solution to crisis we suffered with a previous company that we actually crashed. And when we stopped analyzing why this happened, we found ourselves doing pretty the same mistakes of most of our customers for 10 years. That is the time we had the previous company. And the errors, the problems were connected to the structure of the company. So hierarchies, bottlenecks, impossibility in the evolution of competencies, and slowness in adaptability, in change. And all of this was due to a way of building the companies that came from the previous century, from the industrial age. And I mean, Marshall McLuhan would say that a company is a media, is a way to extend our capabilities in the world. And as a media, it has just been disrupted. The old way to do companies, to build, to design, to build, and to grow companies is flawed. At the moment, new models are needed. So that's what we've done. We stopped and we told ourselves we want to do something really, really cool, really functional, that allows us to really extend our capabilities instead of being an obstacle. So we just embrace the what-if thinking, and we worked for 9 months to build this model we now have in place, and we've had it in place for 2 years now. We're still a startup, but we're going abroad. We're growing. We're now 45 people, and actually it's working really well. We move lightning fast compared to anything I've seen here in Italy before. Even small companies. The good thing is that such a model based on meritocracy attracts the best people. So when you have the best people and you allow them to just lead whenever, wherever, and however they want, as long as they're creating value, incredible things happen, literally.
So Brian, are there any questions from people watching that anybody wants to ask?
Right now they're all in the other room, so I think what we'll do is we'll just have, we'll do this, and then I can just have the video loop through as we get other groups to go through, so that way we can each have our, the points that we're trying to say. Because they're all answering questions with other people in the other room.
Okay. Well, did you want to add anything to the conversation, Brian? Is there a description of...
Sure. So my name is Brian Monahan, and I am an entrepreneur, artist, designer. And what I do here at The Grove is kind of a combination of creating opportunities for artists and creating media for different businesses that are through here at The Grove, as well as my studio back in Maine. What I'm focusing on right now here at The Grove in the upcoming month is the next show, which is going to be focused on connecting Maine, New Haven, and London through generative art. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be showcasing I think 7 different artists from New Haven, 1 artist from 1 or 2 artists from Maine, and then this generative music group out of London. So it'll be really fun, and that's going to be the beginning of that is July 20th, roughly, and it'll run through to the end of August. And then on top of that, I'm also working on a Project Storefront idea, which is to develop a artist collaborative or collective that allows people to show their work in that space, and it basically acts as an outreach for them as an artist. As an artist myself, I often have to reconcile with that duality of my life, where I'm a business person, but I'm also an artist, so I enjoy my alone time. I enjoy, being a recluse in my studio, but at the same time, I recognize that doing just that is not going to sell any of my art. It's not going to pay my bills. It's not, what is ideal for myself. So in a lot of ways, I try to create opportunities for other artists to kind of come out of their shell in a very open air kind of way, that they don't feel as threatened, they feel more welcome, and to give them that space. So that's what the idea of that Project Storefront idea is, that if I take 100 artists and I put them in that space, that creates some awareness of there being this large group of artists. It gives them promotion, it gives them novelty, it gives them all the things that most artists are looking for when they're trying to show their work. And that'll be a collaborative effort as well between New Haven and Maine, and possibly some other outside places.
And then I'd say there's one final question for each of you before we go, and that is, if people want to learn more about what you're doing, where can they find you? What's the best place to get in touch with you, and what's the best place to find more information? So Stelio, do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Cocoonprojects.com, or look for Cocoon Pro, PRO, on Twitter.
Okay. Giada?
So the residency program is either on Facebook. There is a Facebook page called Corte Moronati Artist in Residence, or either there is a website which is Corte Moronati RI, RI, and .com. That's it.
Okay, and Brian? Brian, if people want to learn more about you, where should they go? We may have a frozen. Oh, there we go.
Making. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. People can go to either Monahan Design on Facebook if they're able to find me. If not there, monahandesign.com. And from there, they can contact me either through email or phone or however they want to message me. I'm also on Twitter as Monahan Design as well. So.
Great. And if people want to learn more about connecting to each other from all over the world, collaborationsuperpowers.com is there to help. So we can always go there, and we'll try to connect everybody that needs to be connected. So I think what we'll do here is we'll stop the broadcast here, and then it can be looped back for the next group. Unless anybody has one last thing they want to say. All right, then I'll go ahead and stop the broadcast.